Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Gundam Duel video. Today we have before you is a locals that we had last week. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to go to my new type challenge due to there was a storm and power outages nearby. So we did not get a chance to actually play in a new type. I'm hoping this weekend we get a chance to play it with a new type. And today we have our MF deck that we are still tweaking and testing out. This is one of the versions. We're trying to go into version 2 a little bit and try things that I think I personally like in my personal playstyle. Now in these locals, just to be fully transparent, I cannot find the other video because we went to a few locals and I started running out of memory, and I thought I downloaded all the videos to my main computer, but I did not. The first game I actually lost against a Barbatos deck. We were winning and then ended up being hit with widespread, and I could not get a unit after 5 or 6 draws. I couldn't finish out. I just needed to get one more swing to really finish out. But I don't have that footage. I don't know. I must have deleted it or something because I had to make space and I thought I downloaded it. So full transparency, loss. Got to keep an eye on the widespread because that's very important. And if you can't draw into more units, you are kind of screwed. This is our round 2 of our locals. Now, to fire off, we needed a 4th person, but their deck was not ready. They were still working on it, so someone gave them a deck to play, and we found out that the deck wasn't legal. Now, why wasn't it legal? It has a couple of the 2-1s in here. You're going to see the old Gundam, and also you're going to see I think the Zaf 2-1, the purple Zaf. That's the only reason why it's not legal, because it has multiple 2-1s. But besides that, it is, and we allowed it to play because he didn't have a deck, and we did want to fire off and play a local tournament, so we needed another person. He didn't have his mat, he didn't have anything with him, so we ended up letting him borrow our mat. So he is using someone else's purple red Zaf deck, and we'll see how it goes. Not our man's, I think Derek, it's not his main deck. This is not something he would normally play, so there will be misplays. Obviously, I'm still learning the MF deck, but you're going to see misplays for him, as well as he's trying to understand how to play this variant of a deck that he's not used to playing. So we go ahead and pound out here specifically. Like I said, I'm going to have a few duels. We're going to do commentary because unfortunately with the mic situation, we had to kind of rush, and then we have to set up people with mics, and it just becomes a little bit challenging. So here we were just looking at our buddy Tones' hands. And he was playing the person who actually beat me at the locals. So we were just looking at his hand and saying, wow, that's a crazy hand. And I didn't realize he bumped into the camera, so the angle just got off a little bit. But I have a few duels, so we're going to try to do a commentary and kind of bang out all the videos quick as we can, so we can kind of get up to date where we at with our MF deck. So with this, we are running the 2-1 Shining Gundam. We were able to play it out, and he passes for his turn. We are going second. I'm starting to try to figure out if I like to go second or not. It looks like the lighting is acting up a little bit here, but you can still see what we're doing. In this, the lighting isn't the greatest, but something we have to work with. So we go ahead and smack. I believe I had the link, but I'm not going to burn my EX Rain resource to go ahead and get a link to break the base and swing. We're just going to take our time. Plus, again, I have yet to see what he's even running at all, so we're going to see what we're doing here. You really want to benefit from Maxter as much as possible. And then we see our first card. They're using Impact Gundam. So we know we're playing with Zaf, the purple Destiny side. So I wasn't sure what else we're going to see. In this scenario, like I said, I have a lot of my stuff, so I decided to dig a little bit. We have 2 bases in our hands, so we're going to dig a little bit and see what we can get from that. We go ahead, and I'm actually going to go ahead and airframe and drop the command pilot for Maxter, because hasn't yet to swing on it, and I may have another one. So it was like I need to dig into drawing more, but I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt and take out my Maxter without me having some benefits from using it. So we go ahead and break base with a Shining, and I believe we ended up passing here because we want to make sure we get that Maxter's effect off to help out. Yes, I do have another Cyclone Punch, so we're just putting stuff in the graveyard to eventually grab with our Shining later. I think in this play, we started trying. I haven't played with this deck in so long. Derek ended up doing a trade, which is why you see some cards there. I think that's one piece. But I haven't played with the Zav side in a while, so I believe he plays the one that you have to ping, and the lighting in the store kind of acts up the camera. Yes, this is the one I had to remember. I think no matter what, you have to ping. I think that's the one you have to ping, Derek. So we're just trying to figure out. I think so. I think you can actually rest my unit too, just so you know. Yep, you can rest my unit, and you just have to ping yourself as well. So again, I'm just making sure we are on the same page. And he goes ahead and links, which I was actually surprised that he went ahead and did that. But it told me what he wanted to do was quickly burn me down as quick as possible. So here he put the pilot on Shin on there, so it makes it a 6, so he can obviously break the base. So I believe that's what he ends up doing, breaking the base. And then here, I think the move he ends up deciding to do is getting rid of the Maxter. Yep, because then I don't get any benefit from the Maxter. So unfortunately, no benefit from there, but he still have his unit up. And what good news about him breaking the base is I ended up having another base, but I ended up drawing the other Maxter, which is awesome. So we go ahead and drop -2 onto that unit. Then we link onto there with the Cyclone with Chippity, and then we ended up smacking it. It has 4 AP, now it has 2 AP with the attack with that, and now it is gone. And then I get my effect to see what we can draw out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then hopefully we can grab a special move here. And as you see, I whiff, unfortunately. Sometimes that can happen. The worst is when you obviously have multiple pilots going to the bottom of the deck, which can happen as well. So I will say the one thing about playing with the MF, if you max your saves out a lot and you get a lot of hits with it, you have to try to remember what you're putting to the bottom of the deck, because sometimes you're going to forget how many units or pilots or commands you just put down to the bottom. So that's something that I'm going to have to work on, trying to keep it like a note or something to know what I'm going to be pitching or going back to the bottom of the deck. So we put 2 damage onto the base, his Vesalius, I think, and then he brings out Force Impact with Shin, and now he's trying to decide what he wants to do. With Shin, unfortunately, you get no HP, so you do have to, you're very powerful. You are 8, but you only have 4 HP, so got to be careful with what you do. I think he ends up, again, he wants to break me down and bring the shields down to almost nothing, and then swarm the field. As you see his hand, he has quite a bit of a big hand there. So I believe he breaks the base, and he wants me to go after his units. What's really good again for me is knowing that it's only 4 HP, and with this type of deck with the MF, you know that doesn't take much for me to actually go ahead and double ping for 2s, and that's what I believe we're going to do here. One of the cool plays about having the MF deck is Rising Gundam. Rising Gundam is such a good card in this deck, because you can go ahead and start pinging with putting Master Asia. So we go ahead and link Master Asia, and then I believe we decide to ping it for 2. There's Darkness Finger, yep. And then when I go ahead and swing to break base, I will then ping it for 2 again, and this would be a way for me to not have to get rid of my Maxter just to get the effect. And then we ping for 2, getting rid of that unit. I believe he gets his effect to draw, get back one of his units. I'm trying to figure out, is there a limit on what you need to grab? So he's trying to figure out he's going to grab. He's going to grab his impulse here to get him some benefits on having that, and kind of like recycling a little bit. I don't remember. Let's see. Let's pull that up. Actually, Force Impulse Gundam. It's been a while since, again, I have yet to play with these types of cards. Yep. you can get that card back to your hand. Again, I haven't played against this, so it's like in a while. So even when I'm voicing it back, I'm like, I don't remember what the limitation is. So we go ahead and pass. I was thinking about putting the base down, but I don't want to waste. Do I have a base? What do I have? No, I don't have a base. I was trying to figure out if I should dig a little bit more and put Donmo actually, just so I can draw to discard to be able to, again, gain some more benefits. So here he has a lot of information. He dropped the Minerva base. He's looking at the top card of the deck. The top two, one of them he has to drop, the other one he has to put back on top. So he drops the 2/1 Zaf Weenie, and then he keeps something on top. So trying to figure out what's going on here. He drops Force Impulse, and he's trying to decide what to do with Force Impulse. Now, if I was him, I believe you can go ahead and pay 2 to bring out Destiny Gundam from, not Destiny, Force Impulse from the grave, but he did not. He decided to bring out that unit that you have to ping no matter what. Now, all my units are already rested, so I believe I told him he has to ping, I believe, the unit no matter what. It's like on kind of an ongoing meme. It's technically a 3/2 no matter what. So he's just reading it, and it is a mandatory effect to go ahead and ping it, even though you have no units to rest. So with that being said, we're gonna have a couple more videos. He puts a pilot underneath Luna Marie, or Luna Maria, underneath, so he can go ahead and swing. Again, his goal is to try to take down my shield and me focus on his whatchamacallit. So with Luna Maria, I think this one is the one that you direct the damage somewhere else instead. And he decided to direct the damage back to Impulse, which was the weirdest thing. Again, in this scenario, I think the play would have been to pay 2 to bring out Force Impulse. So he decides to swing and hit with Darkness Finger. With Darkness Finger, one of the really cool things is if I had Master Gundam out, I would get the draw effect off too. But we have yet to see our Master right now. So we go ahead and try to figure out who we're going to ping for 2. I think it would still obviously live. So I'm trying to decide who needs to get hit with the ping here specifically. So we go ahead and ping onto, put 2 ping onto that unit, and I'm trying to see what he wants, because the reason why I did it specifically for that unit was just so like he doesn't take out my Shining Gundam, the 2/1 Weenie, and still live. So he was forced to, oh yeah, I have to ping it, then I'm not gonna swing. So allowed me to kind of again keep my units. If not, he has to trade if he wanted to. So we draw resource, draw for hand, and now we go ahead and drop Overflow. With Overflow, as you saw, we go ahead and grab our Master Gundam. We do have to pitch here specifically, so I'm trying to figure out what we're going to have to pitch. And we ended up pitching, I believe, the Donmo, because we have 2 in our hands, and so that's 1 less now to worry about. At least when we have a link, we're good to go. So I'm trying to figure out, I believe he has a base and 2 shields left, so we could potentially break and then go in, because we have the link in play. But I also don't know what he has, because we saw mostly all purple here, and I don't think I've ever saw one other color, and I believe we were playing a purple red deck. Forgive me if I don't remember if maybe there was a red card that showed up, but I don't think we've seen it. So I've been playing around like it was a purple white deck. So we're just trying to figure out, do we have enough to do something to maybe push for lethal and make it tougher for him to then make all the decisions to control the board. So I'm trying to decide if I do this, if I do that. So we go ahead and do Rising Gundam. And with Rising Gundam, I go ahead and hit it with Domo, resting the Impulse. Okay. And then with that, I go ahead and draw for 1 and figure out what to discard. So we are going to have to discard, I believe, the base. Oh no, we discard Shining Finger, because if we do get a Shining Gundam, we can always get it back. We have yet to see our Shining Gundam this whole match. So in this scenario, I don't think I had Lethal. I think I was worried about he had multiple cards in hands. I felt like if I can just hold it down for one more time, that I think we would do one more turn, I think we'd be good. So I decided to go ahead and -2 and take that out, and then be able to get the draw, or not the draw, the special move to affect the hand. So we just talked about how my unit still dies with his unit. Either way, I needed one more hit and I was going to be dead anyway with the Maxter. So so we go here and we grab the Cyclone Punch. Again, the reason why we didn't try to push, because I don't know what else he's running. He might have hit another base. This is, I think, his first base that I've actually seen besides Vesalius. So oh yeah, that was the Vesalius was the reason why we know it was purple red. So I go ahead and swing, and that's how we know, again, the 2-1, the O Gundam was not the right one. Boom. All right, so we decided to, yep, okay, so you're playing purple. Got it. Purple red. And again, I could have won this way, but I wanted to just confirm that there was no way in the world I was going to hit a base and then not be able to finish off. I want to make sure we finish off. So in this scenario, we still have multiple units that he would have to get rid of, and he would have to put a base down on top of that. So trying to figure out what we're going to do here specifically. So he decides to go ahead and drop Destiny Gundam and then do the link. The only thing about Destiny Gundam, which is a very powerful card, is that you need to also have the resources enough to bring out a unit onto the field. So that's one of the most important things about that. That I was just talking to him about, is he's a really strong unit. It's just the only thing that stinks is if you don't have the resources to tap, you can't bring back something out. So he's just trying to figure out what he has in his hand. Again, his hand is stacked. He has a lot of cards, but he hasn't done much of controlling. He's been making me forced to control, which is such a really good thing about the MF deck, is because it's a mid-range, it can kind of control very well, which is why, again, after this next 2 videos at our locals, you're going to see me change the deck, because I want it to be a little bit more controlling in a sense. And I'm running cards that a lot of people don't tend to use on their general MF deck. So he decides to break the base, and I told him that he doesn't have the resources. Even though he taps with Shin, you can only bring out a 2, unfortunately. So he would have to bring anything out only a cost 2. Which could be obviously Impulse. It could be the dude that pings himself. So in this scenario, he brings out Impulse, and again, Impulse effect, you need more resources to go ahead and do that. So he's go ahead and pass, and I believe this is when we know, all right, I think if you can't put a base, we pretty much have it in the bag. And he's just confirming, yeah, he has no bases, so he has to do this method, which again, I was telling him I was wondering why he didn't kind of control the board instead of, you know, not worry about that, my shield area. And he was just saying, no, I think you got it. I couldn't control it. I couldn't ping. I didn't get what I needed in time. And that is pretty much it when it comes to our second match. Our first match, we did lose to a Barbatos, I think is blue-purple, which widespread us, annihilated us, and then we couldn't draw another unit to save our lives. We got the pilot, but we didn't have the unit. So the round 2 of our locals, we won. Round 1, we lost. Now we're going to go to round 3 with our buddy Tones with his Londo Bell deck. And I'll catch you guys in our next video. Peace.